Welcome to Sakshi TV's special immigration show with attorney Bhanu Babu Illindra from the BBI Law Group. Please note that Sakshi TV now has 3 immigration shows every week. On Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. EST with attorney Ms. Prashanti Reddy, on Thursday at 5:30 p.m. EST with attorney Chand Parvatneni, and on Friday at 6 p.m. EST with attorney Bhanu Illindra. Please tune in to ask your questions. And if you're an immigration attorney and would like to join our special shows, please email us at usa@sakshi.com or call 866-725-7441. Before we begin the show, please note that the information provided on this show is not for legal advice. Use of content is for general informational purposes only. Sakshi TV or its agents in the USA or our guests on this show are not responsible for use of information as a legal advice. If you need specific legal advice, please contact the attorneys directly. We will also be taking any general immigration questions along with today's topic, and you can call us on the numbers displayed on the screen for any questions related to immigration. Hello, Bhanu Garu. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you, Torni Garu. Thank you very much for inviting me on the show again.
Yes, sir. We are so glad to always host you. And today's topic is we're discussing the latest immigration updates. So before we start with our topic, could you please provide your contact details and expertise for our viewers on this show, sir?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Torani, for asking me that. Namaskaram, Sakshi viewers andariki. And thank you very much. Mi prema, mi abhimanalu, anni maaku baga doruktunnayi, and we really appreciate that. And na peru Bhanu Illindra andi. I'm an immigration attorney in the US. I'm practicing immigration law for more than 18 years in the US, and we have been recognized recently as the best immigration attorney firms, top 10 attorney firms in the country by Silicon India magazine, and also by top attorneys of North America and various other organizations. Also, we are really thankful for them for recognizing us, our law firm, that we do our service. And we provide one of the top-notch services to all the audience, all the people, all the clients who need immigration services. So we're very thankful for that. To know more details about our firm, they can visit our website, www.bbalawgroup.com, and our office number is 703-496-7722. And my email ID is bhanu@bbalawgroup.com. మీకు ఎటువంటి క్వశ్చన్లు ఉన్నా, ఎటువంటి సమస్యలు ఉన్నా, మీ ఇమిగ్రేషన్ మ్యాటర్స్ లో feel free to reach us, Andy. We're very happy to help you all. మేము ఉన్నదే దానికోసము. And we really thank you for giving this platform for us through Sakshi TV to reach out to you all. Thank you.
It's a privilege to actually know that we're associated with one of the top 10 law firms in North America, sir. And we'll kick off with our topic today. And before we get to the questions, would you want to discuss the immigration updates with us?
Yes. Today means last night. Only update I would like to talk to Arnie today is about the visa bulletins issued again for the month of July 2022. We got it last night, the visa bulletin, around midnight, 1:30 in the night. The new visa bulletin has been released for the month of July. In them, mainly what I looked into is how the priority dates for the Indian nationals actually moved for the EB2 category and EB3 category, final action dates and also filing dates. If you really look into that, there was not such a significant forward movement. There was a forward movement in EB2 category, but not significant forward movement. If it comes to EB3 category, I'm talking only an employment-based category, and I'm not spending time on family-based category over here. I'm spending time more on the employment-based category over here. And on EB2 category and EB3 category, if you really look into it, the dates have moved for EB2 category in the final action dates category for 3 months. It was September 1, 2014 for June 2022 month. For July, it moved till December 1, 2014. That means it moved for 3 months, September, October, November, and those are the final action dates. So now, anybody who has a priority date on or before December 1, 2014 in EP2 category will be able to get the green card based upon that particular day, particular priority date, provided their case have been already properly adjudicated by the USCIS, and they're just pending for the approval just because of the lack of priority dates. That's the thing which we have to understand with the final action dates. If it comes to filing dates, the 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 priority date for the EB2 category moved to January 2015. You know, that means it moved 1 month even more further than the final action dates for the filing dates for the EB2 category. So if anybody has the I-140 approved in EB2 category with the priority date of January 2015 in EB2 category, now they should be able to file their adjustment of status applications in the US. You know, so that is very important update I want in EB2 category. If it comes to EB3 category, unfortunately, anta forward movement chudaledu. It has been stagnant where it is for the past few months with the final action dates and also with the filing dates. So this is giving us a trend. This is telling us exactly how it's going to be for the rest of the years for the movement of the visa numbers availability for the Indian nationals. You know, that means it's going to go slow down. It's going to slow down forward movement of the priority dates. So if you have an opportunity to file for adjustment of status right now, make sure that you submit those applications. Or if you have an opportunity to do the interfiling for EB2 category, because you have an approved EB2 I-140 or valid pending EB2 I-140 for which you can actually file interfile based upon your employer's consent, then you should do that. You should file the interfiling request also, because you may lose the board opportunity and everything. And also this gives us now a possibility trend how fiscal year 2023 is going to look alike from October 2022. You know, this means it's possible and it's likely, even American Immigration Law Association also feels the same way, that it's likely that the family-based immigrant visa numbers may not be available to actually assign to fiscal year 2023 employment-based category visa numbers to visa category, because as many numbers as that have been assigned for this year, for fiscal year 2022. Reason is that they're assuming that many of the consulates are going to issue a lot of immigrant visas abroad in the family-based category, so those numbers will be utilized. So very few numbers will be available than what it has been available in the past 2 years for the employment-based that can be transferred to the employment-based category in the fiscal year 2023. So that's what I'm saying. Now we can see the trend. This July month is giving us a little bit trend how it's going to move forward for the fiscal year 2023. And we will, if even August month will also give us even more clarity how the priority dates are going to move forward and everything for the people who are waiting in line to file for their adjustment of status or get a green cards in the US. So this is one important update I would like to bring to everybody, to the audience, about the visa bulletin. Other update, usually every time, every call we do it, we talk about the H-1Bs. As I said, I just want to remind you all that for the fiscal year 2023, which starts from October 1, 2022, the cap cases which have been selected in the lottery must be filed by June 30th, 2022 to the USCIS. Must be filed means the files should reach the USCIS by June 30, 2022. If your files don't reach by that time, you'll miss the boat. So we have very few days left right now, and I think not more than 3 weeks basically. So we urge you all to make sure that get your cases filed and processed and then submitted them on a timely basis by June 30, 2022, so that you won't lose the opportunity getting selected in the lottery again, because if you go through the random process selection again for next year, there is no guarantee that your cases will get selected again. You know, so it's our humble advice or to all of you is that continue with the make sure that your employers and you promptly process your H-1B cases, discussing with your lawyers and everything, and ensure those files are reached to the USS by June 30, 2022. These are the 2 updates I would like to provide, Tony Garu, before we go into the further discussions in the call.
Right. So what I do understand from all the important updates that you've just shared with us and our viewers is that although the movement is slowed down, I do gather that the forward movement is still there. I mean, it is going, although a little slowly. So
Yes.
now that the US consulates are opening up in India, and there is forward movement for H1Bs, all kind of employment visas, and as well as student visas, would you want to probably tell our viewers what kind of measures they have to take in particular to ensure smooth going for their visas? Anything for students and employment visas, or both? Something that you can probably categorize for the two of them, or club them together and help them with?
We have to talk separately for both the categories.
Right.
The reason is the requirements are different for.
Also, sir, I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm very sorry, but I also wanted to probably ask about the litigation of, again, mind you, the corona cases that are rising. The COVID cases are on the rise again. Is that going to affect anything for Indians who are wanting to enter the US as immigrants? Or is that a warning sign perhaps? Or is everything completely opened up? Because there is a lot of misinformation, unless we hear it firsthand from the top lawyers like you. So if you could please tell our viewers.
I mean, today, although cases have been rising in India with the COVID-19 pandemic, but I think as of now, the variant which is in India or rest of the world, it is not life-threatening variant. So people
Right.
are getting sick and then they're recovering fast within 4 or 5 days, and then they're able to continue with their normal lifestyle and everything. And that may be because of the vaccinations and the resistance which we develop, and whatever factor. I'm not a biologist, or I'm not doctor.
Yeah.
I cannot really comment on those things, but we are seeing that people are getting sick, but they're recovering fast and everything also. There are not that many life-threatening issues, or there are not many hospitalizations as it was been in the past year or before that, prior to that year and everything. And other thing also you have to understand is while the cases are being increased in India and everything, today US government actually announced that whoever is traveling to US from July, I don't remember the exact date, I don't recollect, but I think it is from July. I think it is from next week, I believe, from June 13th, I believe. I don't remember exactly. Please forgive me for not remembering this date. But
Okay.
US government actually lifted the requirement that you need to do a COVID-19 test
Right.
in order to enter into the country. That means you need to have a negative report. You need to have a negative report, negative COVID-19 pandemic test report in order able to come to the US, travel to the US. Now that requirement is no longer required to come to the US. That means now, just like how India has an agreement with several countries where if those people are fully vaccinated, they can just come into this country without carrying any COVID-19 pandemic negative test with them. They just have to show the proof that they're fully vaccinated, that is authorized by the WHO or by the India or whichever countries it recognizes basically as a valid vaccination. Now US also did the same thing. Now that's a very good news came today. So until today, until this week now, whoever is coming to the US until the date that comes into effect, whoever is coming from India, they're required to carry the COVID-19 pandemic test showing negative report, even if they're fully vaccinated also. For instance, 4 weeks ago, I came to India on a personal and some business issues, and then I traveled back from India after finishing my business over there, personal and business both. After finishing those things, I traveled back to India. I had to take the COVID-19 pandemic test. Irrespective, I'm fully vaccinated and also I've got a booster and everything, but still I have to take a COVID-19 pandemic test within 24 hours in order for me to board a plane. And that was a requirement by the US government. Now that requirement has been removed. So my assumption is that I think why I'm telling you this example is that I think that is one important thing. Everybody who's listening to this seeing this show will know that now they're no longer required to take the COVID-19 pandemic test, COVID test. That's what we call it, right? They don't have to take the COVID test anymore. They can just travel and with the proof that they're fully vaccinated to the US. And other thing is that reason why I'm telling you this is if it comes to pertaining to the consulates, I think that is what we are going to see the trend. I think they're going to open up the offices now. I think they're going to equip these offices with the full staff very soon. As of now, it has not happened yet with the consulates abroad all across the world. I think eventually they're going to do that in many continents, I think, and many consulates in many countries. I think they're going to open up and they're going to soon going to equip with the full staff over there so they can adjudicate these consular processing issues like visas and passports, whatnot, and all those things as timely as possible, and that is why you have to. That is why now we are seeing a lot of delay in getting visa appointments for the B1, B2, or for H1Bs in India and other countries also. I think once the consulate is completely expanding its staff and everything, I think we will see more openings coming for the B1, B2 visa and other things. B1, B2 visa is the least category. They're really worried about it, but they're losing a lot of tourism revenue by not issuing B1, B2 visas. So I think that is one of the things I think US government, I think Department of State has to consider, and probably they will start opening up the slots for the B1, B2 also very soon. Probably I'm expecting it will become better in the next couple of months for the Indian consulates with the B1, B2 appointments and also with the employment-based appointments like H1Bs, H4s, and other things.
Do we have an estimate probably for when the tourism visas would open up? Because a lot of tourism visas have been on hold for the last 2.5 years. So there was a news circulating somewhere around July. They would be opening up since the US consulates for F1s and H1s have opened up. So, but turns out
it's anybody's guess as of now. It's anybody's guess, Ms. Thorani, because they haven't given any date or any timeline how they're going to open up the slots for B1, B2 and everything, unless Department of State comes, unless consulates, embassy of India comes in and makes an announcement on that, we cannot really predict a timeline, exact timeline. Whatever we are doing is an anticipation or expectation with what we are assuming with what likely to happen, and under those basis, yes, we are hoping that we'll hear something in June or in July or August about the tourist visa slots being open and everything,
Right.
And now F1 student slots are being open and they're giving more priority to the F1 students right now because of the fall admissions, and these F1 students has to get these visas so that they can come to the US before for the fall admission for the fall semester and able to pursue their education in the US and everything. So
on a lighter note, I think it's going to be anyway once the USCIS announces when it's open for tourism visa. I think all the tourists can probably start bombarding the consulates because we've gotten a lot of FAQs regarding tourism visas. You wouldn't believe. So yes. I think Bhanu Garu will definitely announce once the State Department Council they announce it. Right. So on a lighter note, because we've been legit getting questions regarding that.
That's right. I mean, so many people are so eager to travel to US. That could be because of the families being here, or that could be they just want to see America. It's a beautiful country, so they just want to visit and see and tour the America like any other country, like European countries, which we tend to go before and watch them everywhere. So yes, there's a lot of the department. US government losing a lot of revenue based upon that also, and also many people are suffering because they can't get a B1, B2 visa to come to US just for simple business meetings or anything, any such kind of things also. So they're not able to seek a business opportunity also in the US because they could not get the tourist visas or business visas on a timely basis to come to US. So I think there's a lot of effort is being put on that. I think we will see very soon announcements by the consulates in India how they're going to open the slots for the tourist visas and the business visas and how it's going to be and everything. And we look forward to provide more details at the time when we hear from the consulates and the Department of State on that. And we all know that the Biden administration made an announcement saying that they're going to put more effort to expeditiously process these cases, and also these applications, visa applications and everything also. So hopefully we will see the that improvement, and that progress in this particular visa program, and all these things. Right now, F1 students, I think that the priority is F1 students right now because of the fall semester is very close by. And all these F1 students make sure that they prepare proper applications and submit that. Why I'm telling you is be careful, be careful about fake consultancies, okay, in India. Recently, we heard a lot of stories about one of the consulting company doing fraudulent paperwork for these students. And after they come over here, they join these programs and good reputed schools and everything. And then later on came to know that their educational documents or even their transcripts, everything was fake. And
My
and
God.
those students were in trouble basically. And the students were actually, I mean, removed from the programs, and they were asked to leave the country or transfer to some other schools. But no school was willing to actually accept them. Then they were forced. They have no option spending that many thousands of dollars coming with ambitious school and everything to study. And in the end, they came to know that the paperwork is not proper. Therefore, they were forced to leave or depart the US. Some of them, the stories we heard is basically they do have enough qualifications. It's not that they don't qualify for the program, but they followed this consultancies in India, and they basically do this fake paperwork and everything.
That's
We are
really
not saying that you should
sad.
not go to it's a sad part, yeah. We are not
Yeah.
saying that you should not go to the consultancies, but US immigration law is a very complicated area. And it's always better to approach US lawyers and discuss with them and take their help in doing your paperwork, whether you're going to your consulates or any other thing, and use those experts and get those paperwork and everything done. And if you may think that US lawyers are very expensive and these consultancies and everything are cheap, that's a misnomer. That's a misbelief. Uh, US lawyers are they are not as expensive as sometimes these consultancies also, and which do this fake paperwork and everything in India, and you need you do not have to do a fraudulent paperwork or a fake documentation to obtain a visa. Let's assume that you have only 55. I mean, one student came to me and told me, sir, I only have second class marks. That's why they did this to my transcript. I said, it does not matter whether you have second class marks or not. You provide the transcript and
Right.
you prove other things with your with various other curricular activities, various other things with your achievements, and you provide them why you are a right candidate for that particular program in their school and why they should give an opportunity to study in their school, and if you can document that, then you'll be fine. You do not have to just change your transcript
Right.
and give a fake transcript to the schools, because you are in trouble in the end, because it's a document fraud. And if the USA comes to know about this, you'll have a lifetime ban on you, and probably you may not be eligible for any waiver also under those circumstances. I heard,
Right.
I've heard hundreds and hundreds of students who got into trouble because of this. And I'm sure other lawyers also who are doing shows also must be able to explain to you on this and what they have heard, what they have seen, and all these things. But these are the things which we have to be very careful when we approach or do a paperwork with immigration. That's
Right.
my 2 cents in this call for everyone.
Right. So I know we just started this, but I think this has to be continued into our next show, where
Sure.
we actually, you busted a very big myth about American immigration lawyers being really expensive, because that's a common misconception. That's understandable that a lot of our viewers have. And that's
Mhm.
important for them to know, to reach out to the proper channel to get their paperwork done, or their, doubts addressed actually. So which we
Yes.
also do on the show. But I think reaching out to an attorney like yourself would be a better approach, like
Absolutely.
we discussed. So I think
Absolutely.
we should, what do you say, Bhanugaru? We continue this into our next show.
Yeah, we
And
will.
we talk
We will.
about the different categories and what to expect now that the US consulates are opening up for the tourists, for the students, and for the employee visa people aiming for the employee visa.
Absolutely. And next time also, I think when we have a time, we can talk about the application process with the consulates, how to apply, how to fill in DS-160 forms, DS-260 forms, and all those things. We can even probably go a little bit more in detail about them, depending upon the time allows, time provided to us, so that audience will have a basic idea on what they're doing and everything.
Will do, sir.
And so it's a very important. Again, I want to stretch on this point. Do not misunderstand. I mean, it's a myth saying that American lawyers are expensive. Actually, these notorious who are not lawyers, who are frauds, actually are more expensive than American lawyers.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
And these frauds can be in India. These frauds can be in the US also. They just do the cut and paste paperwork. They have no idea exactly what they're filling also. But
Right.
American lawyers, in fact, very cheaper than these notorious. I know who does paperwork in many areas, who they charge even more money than lawyers, what we charge for the immigration matters, what we represent before the USCIS and other agencies. So just want you all understand that that's a myth. So do not hesitate to reach American lawyers, but you have to be reasonable in expectation in asking the requirement and the procedure and process and everything you have to follow. When we advise you to follow those procedures and processes, you have to follow. Then only we can help you. We should be able to guide you through with your immigration process to the US.
Understood, sir. And I'm sure our viewers are also with you on this. And with that, we come to the end of the show for this week. But like we promised, we're going to definitely venture into more details about this on our next show with the same topic. And it's always a privilege to host you, sir. And thank you so much for being on Sakshi.
No, it's my privilege to, Dharani. It's mutual. It's likewise, and I'm very thankful for the show and the Sakshi viewers and Sakshi management for conducting the show with me every week.
Right. So thank you, sir. You're watching Sakshi Live, and this is Dharani. Thank you.